Mindset is brought to you by Modern Investigation and Security Company Limited, providing quality, responsive services for over 40 years. Security at its modern best.
There's a silence that echoes louder than any scream. It's a silence many men carry behind smiles, behind strength, behind success. Today on Mindset, we unearth that silence. Our guest is Owen Blacker Ellis, comedian, poet, and cultural icon. But beneath the laughter is a man who has walked through the darkness with a brave face, living with depressive disorder while navigating a culture that tells men feel nothing, show nothing, say nothing. This is not just a conversation, it's a reckoning, a journey into truth, emotion, and the unlearning of generations of quiet pain. Welcome to Mindset. I'm Suzette Buchanan.
Mirror of the Mind is brought to you by the National Health Fund, NHF, taking a healthy interest in you.
Poker! Oh yeah, from Virgin. Wow. There. They are going to chill and enjoy the birds and the bees and the breeze. So what you do at them side of the world, yeah?
But just go visit a family friend a while.
A family friend? Yep. Okay. I'm just there, still at my park. This my love the park and the Wi-Fi free and I just have a nature and thing, you know? Yeah, man, I always link Daffy, you know. Daffy have a party. I go Daffy from my egg, you know.
Egg?
Yeah, man.
What that sound so? A egg? I believe me. All right, watch it now.
Daphne,
A duck, Virgin?
so what is the thing we are there for? Is it me not come here? Daphne ball day and night, you know?
Daphne ball.
Yeah, man.
So duck can ball.
Mr. Alvarado Perry, I'm ready to see you now.
Then you hear a name that called by psychology.
You know some shame about it, you know, daddy.
Yeah?
Yeah, so I don't want to make you know, you don't know.
Yeah, you come to see the psychologist, you know.
You come to see the psychologist. Oh, yeah, said to me.
No one nobody know.
Why we don't want nobody know? I just tell you that. Yo, but still not tell nobody, see?
I'm not telling nobody where I hold it.
All right, hold it.
Alvarado Perry, I'm ready to see you now.
Come in.
Blacker, welcome to Mindset.
Thank you.
Good to have you. I know many persons who are watching in television land is just waiting to drop a gong and roll.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it is not quite that show.
No.
Tell us about your personal journey with mental health.
Well, let me just begin by saying I'm a thankful of thankfulness because my journey has been one where I can claim triumph over a whole heap of trials. I was born and raised in Trenchtown, raised by an abusive aunt who beat you and curse you every single day. I have witnessed tragedy. I've had my house set on fire while we're in it. So I've had a rough life, eh? But I have found laughter to be an escape. And I ended up being the class clown because I was really looking at attention, really. And discovered that, hey, I'm funny. So maybe I can do comedy. So it's been a difficult journey, but it's been a triumph as far as I'm concerned.
So are you saying that comedy was your way of masking the pain back then?
It was my therapy, definitely. Mm-hmm. Because I discovered that if you have two options, either kids can be very cruel. Either you are laughed at and you become the joke, or you start laugh first and you become the joker. You own and claim the joke. So when my shoes look ugly and my clothes untidy, me first start laugh and them think I was doing it to make them laugh. So that's been the journey, and because I am a voracious reader and I'm self-reflective, I self-diagnosed with everything until I was eventually diagnosed.
Oh, I wanted to get into that. When, at what age were you clinically diagnosed?
Fully adult, living in Toronto, and I discovered that I was having a hard time settling. I get up and start barfing nothing, and just having a hard time just feeling normal, and I would be just lock up for days and don't want to see nobody. And I eventually had to seek help, and I was diagnosed with clinical depression. The doctor actually said to me, he said, Canada is emasculating you. And it was a place where I left Jamaica having built a name, and then now living in a place where I'm starting over every single day. And everything meant you're an aging black immigrant male, and everyone was saying this one step back. And I said, well, on this just not working for me. And I was prescribed antidepressants, and the one that I was prescribed, that started being advertised on TV, and then I list the side effect. I thought, this thing that the doctor gave me to heal me and cure me can actually push me towards ideating suicide. I thought, I don't need this.
Yes.
I can plan that all by myself.
Yes.
So I decided that coming back home to Jamaica was my therapy.
A man,
Yeah.
a public figure.
Yeah.
Yes. The man that is known to just have us cracking up.
Yeah.
How difficult was that, walking into a psychologist's office to say, hey, I'm not so well. This is not a laughing matter today.
It was difficult because we are socialized as Jamaican, as men, to have them say, hold up your stress.
Yes.
Man up. And it's something that I find that I get very angry about, this urge, this need for men to man up. It's a hard thing to man up, you know? That was very difficult, but I'm not a typical man, eh? I just decided that I'm gonna be me and just admit that I'm vulnerable, that I need help. It's something that men have a hard time doing, admitting I need help, I'm wrong, and asking for help. And I just decided to ask for help, and I'm glad I did. Because as I discovered, people often frame suicide as the ultimate act of cowardice.
Yes.
I can tell you this from my experience, that for me, it's perhaps an act of courage. Let me tell you why. If I weren't a coward, I'd have killed myself already. I can tell you that. It's my fear of pain that kept me alive. I actually researched ways to end my own life, but I couldn't find any way that could guarantee no pain.
Yes.
And we can't take pain.
Okay.
So here I am.
So you admit to being a coward then?
Absolutely.
Yes, and that's okay.
And that saved me.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. Folks, we are talking to Owen Blacker Ellis, the man that has had us laughing for decades. You're watching Mindset. We take that break. More Blacker Ellis on the other side of the break.
Mindset is brought to you by
At Modern Investigation and Security, protection begins with care and continues with a service that's professional, respectful, and kind. With a leadership that ensures excellence and a team that never stops watching over what matters most. Modern is more than security. We are peace of mind wherever you are. Modern Investigation and Security Company Limited. Security at its modern best.
This is the Aedes aegypti mosquito that spreads the Zika, chikungunya, and dengue viruses. Search for its breeding sites and destroy them.
At Jatton Medical Services, we believe everyone deserves expert care they can afford. That's why we offer advanced oncology and personalized cancer treatment, safe, high-quality dialysis for kidney care, complete eye care through our trusted ophthalmology team, and fast, reliable results from our Suma lab. Call us or contact us on our social media platforms. Jatton Medical Services, affordable, world-class healthcare.
Welcome back to Mindset. Here on Mindset, we take the conversations to the streets and hear from you.
Do you think it's weak for men to cry or show emotion?
No, it's not weak at all. I love my men vulnerable and crying to me. Yes.
I love to see the emotions from a man. Yes, I'm married, and definitely, if my husband doesn't show any emotion, that would just let me feel like he doesn't care.
I would like to understand what he's going through, so Because if he's my partner, I would like to be there for him, to help him go through his emotion.
Of lately, me hear woman I tell man for all of them problem, all of them strengths. That is so selfish. You want to spend man money, but you don't want to be a support system for him. Everybody need a listening ear. A man needs a listening ear just like we want them listen to our bag of problem, forget them bag of money for spend. Support the man them to be emotionally supportive to them. They need it.
We're talking to Owen Blacker Ellis, who has brought into sharp focus the diagnosis of clinical depression and how it has impacted his life. Now, earlier, Blacker, you mentioned just how important it was coming back to Jamaica, and you saw Jamaica as your therapy. What form did that therapy take? Did you go to a psychiatrist? What was it?
No, just keeping busy. I threw myself into my work, creative endeavors. Living in Canada, I had time on my hands. Sometimes my whole day part I just day home doing nothing. Here, I'm busy every single day. I'm working 7 days a week, and I'm doing 3 or 4 different projects. I'm giving back to communities. And that keeping busy, I have less time to be sorry for myself. I'm busy helping others, and that makes me feel good about myself. So I have less time to wonder, to be, oh, poor me, oh, woe is me. I'm too busy doing stuff. So I really rest. And being busy really keeps me going and moving.
I know when Dr. Rob come, he might tell you that you ought to be on medication, but until we get to that point, you know, it is so important. I've always said to individuals that when we do a good deed, when we put a smile on somebody else's face, that is therapy.
Absolutely.
As well. Who has been your support system in dealing with triggers relating to your diagnosis?
Good friends and being open to talk and share my vulnerability. I have a friend, I don't want to call him name, but he's a medical doctor, but he also suffers from depression. And we're like a 2-man support system. I'll call him and say, why going on? And he will share, and that helps. As a man, we don't talk enough.
Absolutely.
Man, I tell people all the while, women share and men declare. You know, you're my governor, I'm good.
Yes.
All right, when you're not really all right. I've learned that doesn't really help nobody. So I talk. More if I talk too much, because I share my secrets. I have no secrets. But that helps me. Just releasing the things that are on my mind. So I have no filter, I will talk. Sometimes they're like, oops, shouldn't have said that. But it helps me because I hold nothing in, quite frankly. I release everything up in the air and it's gone, and I can move on with my life. So men must talk more. I talk too much, too much. You know?
Absolutely, but you know, this what you have said, not absolutely to the fact that you talk too much, but when you talk, I laugh, so it's a good thing. But you know, this underscores the importance of having a support system.
Absolutely.
You mentioned having someone that you can communicate with, you know, so that is so very important. But how does your family deal with this diagnosis?
It's challenging. My children can very often see the results of my own struggling with my own demons, and I've had to learn to not allow what's bothering me to come out and bother other people. So it's been a challenge. My wife is a very private person who thinks I'm too public. So
you're going to get into trouble today?
Absolutely, but she won't watch it. The person won't watch it.
Oh no, I want her to watch
it. But she's like, you share too much. You share too much. And I'm like, yeah, but you don't share enough. Yes. You know, so my family, my immediate family, wife and kids, they don't like going out with me at all. Because people see me and talk to me and they're like, they're very private.
Yes.
So I've had to be struggling with challenging with all those balancing here and there. You know. Happily, my wife and 2 of the kids are living in Toronto. Good. So they don't get to see
so they don't get to see you going out.
Thank the Lord, you know? But when I go back when I go back to Canada, which I try to do every now and again, I kind of get lost being anonymous. But in Jamaica, the black are there.
Yes.
There I'm with one more black man. Ignore him.
Yes. But we have a big Jamaican population in Canada, so you could suffer the same problem. But thankfully, you've been able to manage it better in Canada.
Constantly trying.
All right. What role does language, poetry, comedy, storytelling play in keeping you mentally alive?
Oh my goodness, that is my escape. That is my safe room. I grew up with a love for words. I love words. I'm a voracious reader. And I read everything, I read a sardine tin. Once something is written, I read it. The written word turns me on. So, and that has been part of what has kept me living in Trenchtown. When most boys that play marble and fly kite, I read Archie comic, Cowboy comic, Bob the Twin, Hardy Boy. I was reading. So, and reading and being self-reflective also helps me to constantly ponder what's challenging me, what can I do, and so on. So my world of creativity has been my savior, really, when it comes to living with my depression, because I'm going to find something to read, to watch, to enjoy, to create, and to write. And when I write, that's my therapy as well. I sometimes get angry and write 3 pages that nobody ever reads, but I release it onto the paper, and I can then tear it up or burn it, but it's no longer in my heart or in my head.
Men, as you mentioned earlier, they're taught to hold up your stress.
Yeah.
Yes.
Govern things.
Govern things, have things under control. Do not show emotion, don't show vulnerability. What do you have to say to those men that are watching, that are holding up the stress?
It's a big, ugly lie. Stop it. Talk to somebody, release. Stop being so head and be more heart. Be heart as in go for the honesty, empathy, accountability, respect, and truth. Talk the truth. And stop lying to yourself that you're all right when you're not all right. Talk the truth. Admit, say, hey, I'm weak, I'm falling down. I need help. Lean upon somebody, hug somebody, and cry. Hey, crying is okay now. Me watch all cartoon and ball.
Yeah.
Crying is therapeutic. You release it. Wash your heart. Yeah, man.
Mindset is brought to you by
At Modern Investigation and Security, protection begins with care and continues with a service that's professional, respectful, and kind. With a leadership that ensures excellence and a team that never stops watching over what matters most. Modern is more than security. We are peace of mind wherever you are. Modern Investigation and Security Company Limited. Security at its modern best.
This is the Aedes aegypti mosquito that spreads the Zika, chikungunya, and dengue viruses. Protect yourself from the bite of this mosquito.
A message from the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
Yard gas. Think me I go make them call me Donny. Yard one thing, me say yard one thing. Don't worry. About the thing. Again? Tommy, you buy the gas after me and it done before me, Rasta. Hey, yard man are just done saying. Yard man things stronger and longer. Bakuya. Me cook for church. Me cook for school. Me cook for side chick. Me just a cook a galang saying.
Claim me for okay when me say gas pan tonight instead of him.
Me a full up. A yard man in the kitchen. Yard man still when me touch the road. It's a yard man thing. Yes, sir.
Miss Gooden, are you ready for the 12 o'clock meeting?
I'm not feeling it good right now. I have a headache, I have diarrhea, I can't have a straight. Is that you?
Get well soon.
Oh my god! Finally! Oh my gosh! I'm so sorry. My boss, he's so annoying. Can't wait to leave the job and stop working for that silly little man. Anyways, summer is coming up, so I need laser hair removal everywhere, full body red light therapy. I need fat dissolving injections, warts to be removed. I need everything.
Welcome back. This is Mindset, and our guest is Owen Blacker Ellis. And we're not just laughing today. I mean, we couldn't avoid laughing because it's Owen Blacker Ellis, but we're really diving deep into depressive disorder, focusing on loud silence, men's mental health. Mr. Ellis, if tomorrow you lost your voice, what's the one truth you'd want to be remembered for having the courage to say today?
Wow. It would be that I am willing to admit my vulnerability, that I am willing to speak my truth, that I am always willing and ready to open my mouth and talk, even when I'm not sure what I'm about to say. Because I think if we talk more, people can, within 30 seconds, I can think, decide, redecide, change my mind, but you would know. But if I talk, you would know. So I want to remember that somebody who willing to talk, even when you're told you can't talk because you have quote-unquote speech impediment. What?
Yes.
Never hold me back yet. So is that willing to talk? To just open your mouth and talk.
If you were to write a play on depressive disorder, what role would you play?
Ooh, I would play the devil on your shoulder. That said, do that,
yes.
Lick him, kick him, thump him.
Yes.
Because that's not really me in real life.
Yes.
So I would get a chance to stretch myself and be mischievous. I love being mischievous.
Yes.
I was the class clown. I was the person who always give trouble in class, and it makes people laugh, but it gives me a small sense of power.
Yes.
And men love power, don't it?
They absolutely love power, and women too. Yes. Dr. Roberts, we bring you in at this point to shed some light on this topic. Can you identify with the men being labeled as having a loud silence?
Certainly. Before I get into the meat of the matter, I just want to make a few comments as it regards to Mr. Ellis. During the interview, you mentioned that he's a coward.
Yes.
Right. I totally disagree. I mean, labeling yourself as a coward, having the option of taking your life, which is not an easy task.
Yes.
Versus living with a mental disability, which is not easy. So there weren't any easy option, really. So I think he made a wise decision, and I don't see him as a coward. First of all, when we think about the traditional gender role and parenting in Jamaica, really put our boys at a disadvantage. Most of the men watching this in Jamaica can recall at some point growing up, if you even stub your toe as a boy and crying, shut your mouth.
Yes.
What you cry for? You're a girl?
But that happened to us too, as women too.
Well, I think that they're a bit harsher with the boys.
Absolutely.
You know, maybe give you something to cry for.
Yes.
So a lot of boys can identify with that. And it started at that age where you're not being given any space to express how you're feeling, to express physical or emotional pain. When we look at mental health, men tend not to express themselves. And generally, men have got poor health-seeking behaviors. So they're not going for help either. And they may go about wearing a mask. Nobody will guess that Mr. Ellis suffer from depression.
Not at all.
Right? And there are many people out there that wear that mask. They're suffering in silence. Men may not necessarily break down and cry, for example, when they're going through depression, but they may become very irritable. They may start to display aggression, or they may start drinking. So it may look differently for men suffering from mental health, which only compounds the problem.
How do I, as a wife, say to my husband that I have seen changes in your behavior? I think you need to go and speak to a therapist.
It depends on the relationship that you've got with your partner. But I would say that these days on social media, you know, you will hear people saying that, oh, it's okay for men to be vulnerable, you know, and people are talking more about it. But in reality, I don't think that that's my experience, that women are providing the safe space. And even some of my clients as men, I don't think that that safe space is there, because the women are also, and I'm using the term loosely, victim of that kind of a dysfunctional parenting and gender role during their upbringing. So a lot of women out there feel like men should hold up them stress, right? They shouldn't talk about it either. So sometimes men don't get the support that they want from their significant other, which is quite unfortunate. But men are human beings, just like women. And I think that we need to recognize that men do suffer. We may have less depression and anxiety when compared to women, but guess what? Here's the kicker. Men are 4 times more likely to commit suicide than women.
Men are 4 times
more
likely
to commit suicide.
To commit suicide.
And in Jamaica, it's even a more complicated picture as well, because in Jamaica, it's not uncommon for us to have homicide, suicide. So men can't process the emotion, the trauma, and they end up killing somebody, then kill themselves, right? So I think that we should recognize that men suffer too, and we need to have spaces where men should feel safe to express themselves. We need to have a healthcare system that caters to the needs of men, because men may not want to access spaces where women are, because they're fearful that they might be judged by women as well.
Earlier on, Blacker mentioned that his therapy was returning to Jamaica, the laughter, the sunshine, and everything else that comes with that.
Mm-hmm.
Does that work? Is that enough?
Well, I can see how him returning to Jamaica might have impacted positively on his mental health. He described going through depression. Perhaps some of that he experienced in Canada may be seasonal affective disorder. We don't experience this in Jamaica, but in the northern hemisphere where you've got the seasons, you might find that your mood dip around winter time. And it's a genuine thing especially for people from the Caribbean or blacks living in Canada, the US, England, and so forth. So coming back to Jamaica, then you eliminate that factor. And then we can't minimize the importance of social interaction, right? And he mentioned coming back, he has a support base, and he has got 2 mature defense mechanisms against his distress. One is humor, and the other one is altruism, right? Because he talk about serving other people and the benefit that it has played in his recovery. I want to touch on the medication bit, yes. Just a little bit.
It's what you want.
Right. So not everybody who's depressed needs medication. And I must say that. If you've got mild or moderate depression, talking therapy can be quite effective. So, I mean, he could have seen a psychologist or a counselor to give that support. But definitely, if you've got severe depression, medication is an absolutely important part of the treatment. And what the evidence suggests, the concern about increased risk of suicide when taking medication, the evidence suggests that untreated depression carries a greater risk than any risk associated with taking the medication, right? And we have got the study to support this. So if your depression is untreated, you've got increased risk of committing suicide, and this significantly outweighs any risk associated with taking medication.
Each week on Mindset, we share the voices of the forgotten residents of Bellevue Hospital, ready to return to society, but left behind by their families. Hear their stories only on Mindset.
This summer is 25 years in and out. I was admitted in 2000 then at discharge, and from then is in and out. My niece visited me last week. Made me feel good, you know. Glad that somebody remembers me. Just encourage me to keep going on and keep holding on. There's hope that things can turn better, that we can come out of hospital like somebody pray for me, that I come out, get a house, get a car, get a good job. In spite of everything, we can control the mental illness that we have. We didn't cause it upon ourselves, but I leave a bit of encouragement for people to come and say, come and look for their people. What I want them to do, come and say, here's a bowl or a bread or something. I'm encouraging them, those who are listening, or if they're listening or watching through this telecast, come and look for your people, them. They didn't cause it on themselves. You know, your flesh and blood, thicker than water.
Dr. Roberts and Blacker, Thank you both for sharing about the pain and pressure that comes with these expectations, and crucially, you've helped us to explore pathways to healing. Thank you for watching Mindset. Real stories, real people, and real solutions. See you next week.
Mindset was brought to you by Modern Investigation and Security Company Limited, providing quality, responsive services for over 40 years. Security at its modern best.